We'll be discussing how Apple responded to the challenges posed by the COVID-19 and how this global disruption influenced their business strategies. We'll cover Apple's official response, third-party analysis of how the COVID-19 impacted their operations, and academic case studies that highlight their strategic adjustments during this critical period. Apple's response to the COVID-19 was both rapid and far-reaching. Apple took swift action to safeguard the health of its employees and customers. One of their first steps was temporarily closing retail stores around the globe to prevent the virus's spread. Apple continued to pay its retail employees during these closures, showcasing its commitment to worker welfare, while also enhancing its flexible work-from-home arrangements for corporate staff to maintain productivity remotely. In addition to internal measures, Apple played a vital role in the broader fight against COVID-19. In April 2020, they announced a partnership with Google to develop a contact tracing technology, which became one of the most critical technological tools to help public health authorities trace the virus's spread. The joint effort led to the creation of the Exposure Notification API, which allowed Bluetooth-enabled devices to anonymously share data related to potential virus exposure. By addressing privacy concerns head-on, Apple and Google ensured that user data was secure, demonstrating their commitment to both innovation and privacy, even in times of crisis. Apple also took philanthropic steps. They donated millions of dollars to support healthcare professionals and supplied millions of masks and face shields to health workers on the front lines. These efforts showcased Apple's global influence and responsibility as a leading corporation.
SDG goals are 17 goals aimed to end poverty, protect the planet, and ensure equity for all by 2030. Here is a list of the goals. A reference to the website generated by the United Nations will be linked in the end of the PowerPoint. During COVID-19, Apple adopted its strategy to meet the unprecedented challenges. This change in strategy not only helped Apple operate in uncertain times, but also contributed to the 17 SDGs. Firstly, by facilitating seamless connection and collaboration between workers and companies, where once were isolating, Apple supported millions of people in continuing their jobs and studies from home. This initiative aligns with SDG 3, good health and well-being, as it minimizes the spread of COVID-19 whilst ensuring that Apple could help people continue the operation of their daily activities. Secondly, Apple developed the COVID-19 exposure notification in collaboration with Google. This innovation tool provided users with critical health information. For an example, where there is a point of exposure, Apple will notify the users. This empowers users to make informed decisions regarding their health and safety. Furthermore, Apple's focus on sustainability in its operations, such as reducing carbon emission and promoting renewable energy, demonstrates a commitment to addressing climate change. This dual focus not only supports immediate health needs, but also contributes to the long-term environmental goals. This emphasizes the interconnection of health and climate action. Apple's strategy aligns with SDG 13, climate change. Thirdly, Apple has enhanced infrastructure by developing reliable service which ensured virtual communication for both personal and professional services. This aligns with SDG 9. Lastly, Apple's collaboration with Google, as mentioned above, aligns with SDG 17, Partnership for Goals. Their collaboration, combining expertise and resources, are what ultimately created the benefit, as stated above, in contribution to the SDGs.
Now coming to the cons, while Apple's response to the pandemic showcased its ability to act quickly and responsibly, there were several drawbacks. Firstly, Apple's reliance on its physical retail presence meant that the temporary closure of stores worldwide had a major impact on revenue. Even though online sales helped mitigate some of their losses, it wasn't fully enough to offset the deadline, particularly in areas where digital infrastructure wasn't as developed and logistics were challenging. Secondly, the rapid transition to remote work exposed weaknesses in Apple's supply chain. Since many of Apple's key suppliers are based in regions heavily affected by COVID-19, such as China, production delays were inevitable. This caused a ripple effect throughout the global supply chain, leading to product shortages and delays, especially for high demand products like iPhones. Another issue arose with their partnership with Google on contact tracing technology. Although it was an innovative step, there was concerns about privacy. critics were worried that even with anonymized data, the system could lead to government overreach and set a precedent for future privacy issues. This could heavily impact Apple's reputation for being a champion of user privacy. Lastly, Apple's philanthropic efforts, which were significant, drew criticism, being relatively small in comparison to their vast financial resources. Some argued that one of the wealthiest companies in the world, Apple, could have done much more, particularly in aiding under resourced regions during the global recovery. Overall, these challenges showed while Apple's strategy was swift and comprehensive, it wasn't without its limitations, especially in balancing business operation and social responsibility. Thank you.
There were many worries as to what could happen for Apple's manufacturing plants when COVID-19 started to spread worldwide. Due to the lockdowns, people were not able to work in factories and had significantly reduced Apple's output for iPhones at the time, especially in China. Since Apple was heavily reliant on Chinese manufacturing, many production factories in the country were affected by COVID-19. An example is when iPhone 12's release date was delayed due to production issues. Employees in China working for Apple were affected by COVID-19, resulting in many employees being laid off to reduce the spread of the virus, causing major disruptions in Apple's output for their products. With the surging demand for Apple products during the pandemic, this only caused more issues for Apple, as they had to think of new strategies to mitigate the impact. With the effect of COVID-19, Apple decided to make strategic adjustments to their business strategy. Some adjustments are diversification of products and increasing online sales. These strategic actions benefited Apple as more products allowed revenue coming in from many different products sold by Apple, causing less problems financially. Building a larger online presence also was a great adjustment for Apple, as it's known to sell most products in retail. Due to the lockdown restrictions, Apple made sure to change their business strategy to sell more products online and provide more services online. This not only benefited Apple, but allowed a balance with income coming from retail and online.
So we have 3 good suggestions for Apple. First, Apple would be a global innovation leader, so it must build a strong and resilient supply chain. Apple's goal to increase supply chain by expanding intra-region like Southeast Asia, India, and even North America. Apple could reduce its dependence on any one country like China. Such diversification would help mitigate risks from localized disruption, whether due to pandemics or geopolitical tension. In addition, Apple could also experiment with the supply chain through data analysis and AI. So Apple has better visibility into its supply chain and can quickly adjust production schedules, inventory, and logistics. After disruption, this approach will strengthen Apple's ability to remain nimble and respond to unforeseen challenges. Insurance community of product supply. Apple has positioned itself as the privacy leader in tech world. However, with growing concerns about the handling of data in collaborative programs such as COVID-19 exposure notifications, it must be more transparent about its partnership. Apple must clearly communicate how it's handling anonymize and protect user data when working with external partners. Such transparency would reinforce Apple's image as the privacy-focused company. Moreover, Apple could go one step further, give users greater control over their data, especially in sensitive areas. When they set a tighter limit on data sharing, not only is this consistent with Apple's core value of privacy, it will strengthen customer loyalty by giving users power to protect their information. Finally, let's talk about Apple's commitment to corporate social responsibility through global donation. Apple can more directly contribute to global health, education, and infrastructure, especially in underdeveloped regions. Apple can support countries and communities that have its supply chain by investing in schools, clinics, or community centers. Apple can improve the living conditions of workers in those areas. This is in line with the United Nations Sustainability Development Goal 8, which promotes random employment and economic growth, and improve Apple's corporate social responsibility image will directly benefit the communities on which it depends.
Here is a list of references that was used in generating this PowerPoint. That is the end of our presentation. Thank you for watching.